Yo, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to episode 46 of the Casual Weebs podcast. Winter 2025, is in full effect. And, to celebrate, we're dropping an anime. So, on the
We're
preview...
coming out with an anime.
No, I meant like we're not watching one anymore. Not like we're gonna make one.
Oh no,
Yo,
that does make sense.
we
I'm an
gotta,
idiot.
we should look into that, though. Can you imagine a Casual Weebs anime? Be pretty
Yo,
good.
if I ever hit it big, if one of us hits the lottery, I'm committing to it.
You know
That
what we
would be
gotta
sick.
do? Not even like make our own, but find one that like needs to come out that everyone's just been waiting for, just hoping it gets animated,
Ooh,
and we're gonna give the people what they want. All right, we're gonna be for the
that would be
people.
even better.
Exactly. Yeah. All right,
Hell
but
yeah.
but that's not yet though. So I listen in the preview for Winter 2025. I brought up an anime, Madoka Medica. Isn't Previous to My Charms. I saw a little clip of it. It looked wholesome. It's not wholesome. It's not. I thought it looked like Kaguya-sama Love is War mixed with Aya Sometimes Tired of Feeling Russian. And it is. It is. But it's a little too edgy for my taste. So if you're into that, you might want to go check that out. But we were talking about like possibly giving it like another chance, like a episode 2. To see maybe if it calms down, maybe it gets a bit better. I ain't doing that. But listen, anime like is insane now. Like they drop on episode 1 and it is just fire. So it's like I have so many awesome animes I'm watching. Why keep giving other ones a chance? You know what I mean? It gets harder with each season that passes by because anime keeps raising the quality so much, and now so many animes have that level of quality where it's like, yeah, I don't want to waste my time. Like if it's that good, I guess I'll hear about it because when I dropped that one, I picked 3 new ones up, and boys, these 3 new ones hit on episode 1. First of all, we have a Doctor Detective. I saw that and it like was rated pretty well. And like this kind of looks like House. You know that show House with the dude who takes a bunch of Vicodin and he's like a
Yeah,
doctor.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I love that show. And I was like, but like that getting an anime would feel really weird in my head, so I didn't watch it. But then it dropped 3 episodes, and all 3 episodes were rated very high. So I was like, all right, if it's still balling out after 3 episodes, let's give it a shot. Watched all 3, and oh my god, it's so good. Like it really is. It's so
Yes.
enjoyable. Thank you to chat because they also hit me with Zenshu. Zenshu, I saw on like the list, but like it was rated really low. I thought the idea of like an animator that gets isekai into her like favorite anime movie, I think it is. It seems really cool, but like it was just not rated well at all. When I saw it, I think it was a 4.5. And then Chad's like, hey, yo, give it a shot. I read the manga. It's pretty solid. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So I watched the first episode. Haven't seen the second one yet, but dude, it's good. It's rated like a 4.6. Now, I think it should be like a 4.7 or a 4.8. Like, I think the art style is sick. I think the idea is sick. And the execution so far over 1 episode has been really nice. So, of course, we're going to see what the other 2 episodes, have to do because, you want to give the 3-episode rule. But, yeah, it's been solid as well. And then, lastly, honey lemon soda. Wholesome. It's so I like when you have the
So good.
female MC that gets kind of bullied and you just feel fucking awful. But her dubs feel so good when she sprayed down those 3 bitches with that lemon soda. I was going
Oh.
ballistic. I was like, bro, like you taught her that. You gotta step in. And of course he steps in. Dude, it's like one of those like feel good animes. Those 3 animes honestly have such amazing starts, which is why I'm like, you know what? We can't get so hung up on like we can't fix her. You know what I mean, boys? We got to move on and focus on the ones that are already fixed. So
So good.
those 3 are honestly sick. But if you haven't seen our anime winter 2025 preview, like we got you because listen, there's so much stuff to talk about. Sakamoto Days dropped. Holy shit! Episode 1 was awesome. Apothecary Diaries. What a way to start the season. I mean, the animation is still there. It just feels good. It feels like it was just yesterday that season 1 was here. So I'm so excited for season 2. Link click. I mean, boys. I mean, I'm not saying you gotta watch it, but I'm just saying, like, this season, the 3rd season, is pretty goddamn beautiful. It is pretty amazing. They're hitting, and then of course Blue Box. I mean, guys, like, how did we forget to talk about Blue Box last time? Like, how did I'm like, I feel bad about it, but you brought up, like, hey, man, like, Blue Box, right? I'm like, oh, shit, I forgot to watch the episode. And then I watched it, and I was like, oh, my God. Like, I missed this. Like, Blue Box, that's going to be probably, like, the highlight of the episode today. And then Fate fucked us. Like,
Ah,
that's what
they
you just
did.
told me. Fate, strange, fake. Dude, what's up with these tongue twisters of these anime names that are just
Yeah,
completely
right?
throwing me off? But apparently, they dropped the movie. They dropped episode 1, left it on an absolute cliffhanger with one of the like servants getting arrested, and then they're like, all right, we'll be back. And it's like, when, when's the next episode? Apparently, it's
They
not
gave
for a
us
while.
a very generous 12-month window of 2025. So, oh yeah, no big deal.
Like what the hell, man? But hey, listen. So far, winter has gotten off to such a hot start. I mean, dude, how did I forget this? Boy, solo leveling. Dude, I watched the second
Oh yeah.
episode. We're gonna get into it. I jumped for joy with the second episode of solo leveling. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm on the same page as you boys now. I am full on where this is like he is him. It's just that anime. Like I see where the hype is, and it's deserved. The first 2 episodes of this season would have been phenomenal. They've been so goddamn good. I need episode 3. So we got to get into it. What do you want to start with?
You want to get into Blue Box? I feel like a lot has happened the last 2 weeks.
Oh my god, let's get into Blue Box. Let's get like dude. We've like talked about this outside the podcast, but like, if Hina gets hurt, I'm gonna kill Taiki. Like,
Yes, dude.
bro, okay, Shinatsu, Taiki, they're great. They're obviously gonna be the couple. Like, we all know it's right there. But like, Hina's so awesome. The way that like she's like taking such initiative. All right, so she jokes around with him, like talks with him. She's always like cool with him and joking around, supporting him. Right? I mean, takes the initiative and is like, hey, confesses her love. Right? And it's just like, well, I know nothing's gonna change if I don't say anything, so I'm gonna say something. And it's like, out of these 3 dimwits, right, that have these feelings, she's the only one who did anything. The other 2 were like pushing each other away. You know what I mean? And like they're absolutely fumbling. It's like, bro. It's like, why is the one that's gonna get hurt like put themselves out there the most? And like you just see, it's like
So
watching a car
true.
accident, bro. It's like you see it coming and you're just like cringing, like, oh no, please don't, like just swerve, bro, hit the brakes. But dude, I don't know what to do, man. This episode it started out with Hina placing third, which I didn't expect at all. We actually talked about how we thought that Hina was gonna be the one that wins out of the 3 of them.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect any of like the whole national saga. Like, I really didn't expect everyone to kind of come up short, like
Everyone
a
to
good bit
lose,
short.
even
Yeah, and
Haru. It's like what the fuck.
like he's finally able to take a game off that guy he can never
Mm-hmm.
beat. And, like he has a really good moment, and like I don't know, you have the music and like you have some of the flashbacks with him and his girlfriend. Do you remember his girlfriend's name? Because I don't.
Nope. It's
I mean,
Haru's girlfriend.
it's like purple hair, good looking character. I'm sorry, but yeah, Haru's girlfriend. Like you get some really good time with them and like some flashbacks and like they have this huge momentous moment where he's like, going back and forth point for point. And then it's just over like that. Like kind of like Taiki, like real brutal, real short. It's over,
Mm-hmm.
you lost. He's done. And I feel like all of that, even with Shinatsu and the basketball team, like it all felt pretty short and kind of like underwhelming, which I feel like was good for the story. Like we're not getting too far ahead too quick. No one's like really rising to the top, and it feels like they're all still like first and second year high schoolers who still have like room to grow. So even though I wasn't expecting it, I thought kind of the whole coming up short aspect of our like main cast and nationals was kind of nice.
And like that's like the silver lining is that like you never expect any of this. You never expected everyone to lose nationals when everyone's shooting for it. You know what I mean? You think that because like Hina's like very like renowned in her like industry, like her like sport. You know, you have Shinatsu literally on magazines. Like there's some high level prospects. You know what I mean? Some high level like players. So the fact that like they fell short and like weren't able to get the job done is like crazy. I thought at least one of them was gonna win and become and take first place at nationals. So the fact that they all lost was insane. I never would have thought Hina would be the one to confess feelings and be like and to throw herself out. That like completely, was just out there. It was like holy shit, like wow. And then what's it called? Haru's girlfriend. That's like the episode before that we didn't really talk about. That whole episode, like she is the best because we get their backstory and how they started dating. The way that she just like, she's like the way that she like was like talking about like him and Chinatsu was like just so funny. But she's like, wow, like you guys are both dumbasses. Like it's so obvious you like each other, and you're both just like so awkward about it, and then completely doing like the wrong things. Like anytime you get close, you're like, actually, let's put distance between us, and then instantly regretting it. You know what I mean? So the way that she kind of like, talked about, it, I was like, oh my god, like both helpless. Like, you obviously like her, bro. And he's like, me? How did you know? And she's like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, she's like, you guys are helpless. Like, that whole episode with her was phenomenal. But yeah, I think that this episode was absolutely insane, especially now that Chinatsu has come back and she heard that Hina confessed him. But Hina's just joking about it too. You gotta love that. Like to have like those characteristics as a person is just awesome. The fact that she has the balls to sit there and be like, well, smart enough to realize, okay, if I don't say anything, nothing's gonna change. Have the balls to then say something to try to get change, and then just to be like, I'm probably gonna lose, but like let's just joke about it. You know what I mean? Let's just like kind of like keep it light and kind of like mess with him while I can. You know what I mean? The way that you just kept teasing him. But yeah, now Chinatsu knows, and now that's gonna cause a whole bunch of shit next episode.
Yeah, I feel like the episode with Haru's girlfriend was like a really good build up for
Mm-hmm.
this, and I still didn't see it coming, but she kind of talks about what it takes to like be in a relationship, and you're definitely right. She's like a good bit more mature, and I think I don't want to say necessarily smarter, but more emotionally intelligent and like mature than obviously the first years, which totally makes sense. She's a little older. She has like a super professional job. Um, she kind of goes through and explains, like while we have this relationship, I'm prioritizing my career and I'm making sure Haru prioritizes badminton and that we're both achieving the things that we want to and, pushing for our goals, but also, like depending on each other and like when things get hard or whatever, they're there for each other. And then, we have this scene with Haru, like, giving her the second grade journal or whatever it was, like,
Mm-hmm.
so it kind of gives you this like relationship aspect, like kind of what they need to do or what we're working towards. And then, yeah, obviously Hina like confesses, which was a really, really sick scene. I was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, oh shit, she's like going for it, which I really liked because you're right. She is the only one who's being really upfront with her feelings and like you're exactly right. She kind of knows like, look, I know you'd like Chinatsu, but if I never say anything, I'll never be able to change anything if I don't say anything
Yeah.
and I'll regret it. So she comes out and says it. And I believe Chinatsu loses her ankle bracelet, like the friend bracelet she has with Taiki, after the basketball game. She doesn't notice it's undone. But I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, like Hina's like joking around and messing with Taiki like she always does. Like they have a really good friendship dynamic for being like a younger guy and girl.
Yeah.
So like already kind of makes you like Hina and root for her a little bit. But then Hinatsu, of course, gets like super like sentimental and maybe I don't want to say offended. That's not the right word, but like surprised that Hina would go that far. And then it shows like her ankle and the bracelet's missing, and I'm like, ooh.
Well,
I kind of,
I think she just kind
I
of
kind of,
heard about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, and like I feel like the missing, like the friendship bracelet is kind of like a big deal. Like once she notices it's gone, I feel like she's gonna have like kind of a moment. I don't want to say like a breakdown, but the stuff that her friend and teammate has been telling her classmate, um, like that taller girl with the shorter hair. I think all that stuff's
Oh.
gonna kind of set in. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, yeah, you can't do this alone. And we saw how she reacted when the two teammates were retiring or calling it quits. Like, I feel like she's putting all this pressure on herself, and she doesn't really have anybody because of the distance between her family. So I think eventually she's gonna have to like square up with Taiki emotionally and be like, even as friends, like, we should be there for each other. Because Taiki obviously does have that support. I feel like she isn't opening herself up enough to get that support from other people.
Yeah, and like not to like to put a pin in this because I want to go right back to this. But going back to like the basketball thing, those two teammates are fucking assholes for like before the big game coming up to them like, oh hey, don't forget, we were completely relying on you. You were the only one who could score points. It's just like, oh well, it's because of your assists. Oh, well, you got to get them even without our assists. Like, what the fuck are you gonna do then? They're pretty much like, hey, we know you're a second year, but like, put us all on your goddamn back and carry us to the nationals. Like, way to just absolutely put pressure on somebody and just not be helpful at all. Like, and then she like
It's
crumbles
so
up.
true.
Yeah, I saw him like, you guys are fucking pieces of shit, man. I'd fucking leave you behind so quick.
It's exactly like in college football, like right before a bowl game, like players will declare for the draft and be like, yeah, I'm not going to play the bowl game. Like, the last 3 or 4 years of my college career didn't quite mean enough. Like, I hate when players do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I felt the exact same. And then they're like, yeah, good luck, score a lot of points. And then they literally just walk away.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
No, dude, like, what the fuck? But, like, yeah, going back to what you're talking about, like, I feel so bad. I feel like when, like, she heard that, like, she was kind of, like in shock, kind of broke it down a little bit, because, like, you gotta imagine, okay, well, she loses. Well, first of all, she still thinks that he lied to her. So
Very
that whole thing with
true.
the festival has not been resolved yet. So she thinks that he lied to her. So things were already weird in the first place. That he was going with a group, and then all of a sudden he's there with Hina, right? Then she goes to the game, loses, right? And then she has to come back and kind of face him, and kind of like the same way he did with her, where he's like, "Well, I lost." That's such a shitty fucking feeling. And then also, he was probably the one that she wanted to see when she got back, and then have all that build up to seeing the guy you're into that you want to talk to, that a bunch of bad shit's been happening, a bunch of weird stuff's been happening, because like with the whole lying thing, and then you hear that the girl that you're worried about confessed to him, and you're like, oh, it's over, like that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's gotta suck. I imagine she's just gonna leave. Like we know that she's not going to, but I mean, think about like all of that build up just for that, and like you gotta imagine like you stayed and you left your family to go to nationals, and then you weren't able to deliver there. Like, dude, she's in such a bad spot. Like we were talking multiple podcast episodes how Taiki's like ready to become an alcoholic with how many
Yeah.
bad things happen to him. Dude, Chinatsu's gonna be right there at the bar next to him. Like it's like, dude, these guys like you feel bad. Like it just sucks. They must be going through so much. As much as we like, well, like I kind of bash them for like not being emotionally intelligent. Like, dude, they fucking go
Yeah, I
through
know.
it.
Yeah, it's such like a vulnerable age too. I want to say they're 15, right? Probably
Uh, 16, I think.
15, 16. Yeah,
They're
it's
second
like
years.
such a yeah, true. So they're like at a very vulnerable age emotionally. Um, but I think kind of with like the foresight we have from the last whatever 13 episodes, if you look back to when Taiki lost, like it was definitely very suppressed. Like I don't want to say he was devastated. Like he
Mm,
did have a moment where like I came up short, I made all these promises and like aspirations and pretty much let everybody down and failed, even though that's not really the case. I think he shined a lot more than he would give himself credit for. But he basically got back on the horse, was like, let's just keep getting back to work. You know, he kind of leaned on Hina and our wingman of the year, Rio, right? Is his name?
uh, Kyo,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can't forget my guy's name. But he kind of leaned on them and like, you know what I mean? Kind of got back on the horse a little
Mm,
faster. I feel like Chinatsu's really gonna struggle with that, and like she might take it out on Taiki, but they're definitely gonna have this point where Taiki's like, all right, look, I didn't lie. You put this distance between us. If you need support, you have to say, you know, I need you to be there for me, and you can't make this weird because we're living together. So I think it's gonna end up being like a really important moment for them, but. I do smell like a moment coming between them where Chinatsu's like breaking down and Taiki's like, "Look, you got to get a grip."
can you imagine Tuggy saying that? Like,
I
hey,
I feel like because he's a little bit slighted emotionally. Like I don't want to say she's wrong because she doesn't want to make shit awkward at home. Like totally
mm,
understandable. But like she knows there's feelings there. It's on her to like break the ice and say, let's you know what I mean, just talk about it or whatever. I think she has to be the one to kind of say like, you know, maybe distance isn't the best thing for us. Where Taiki, I feel like it's kind of put in a more awkward position.
dude, that was the funny like thing that the Haru's girlfriend brought up. Like, hey, like you like her, don't you? He's like, well, yeah, but like she's living there. Make it like super awkward. It's like, so you like a girl living in your house? That's kind of creepy, huh? Like he seems like you have ulterior motives. He's like, no, not at all. So I think
Yeah, yeah,
Taiki's gonna switch up real quick because he realizes it's kind of being a little creepy. He's trying to be like a nice, respectful guy, and now you have this girl being
yeah.
like, you're kind of fucking weird, bro.
And it
Like,
would be so awkward, like with your parents there, and like,
mm-hmm,
you know, they're really good friends with Chinatsu's parents. Like, I definitely get where Taiki's coming from, but I think it's time Chinatsu's like, even if she comes at it as like just a friend,
mm-hmm,
like we know she has friends, but their dynamic is a little different, especially when they're at home. I think she can be a little more comfortable.
yeah.
So I'm gonna need Chinatsu to step to the plate and ask for some help as a I mean it's not a shonen, but as a typical shonen MC never does. You know what I mean? Lean
Yeah.
on your friends, Chinatsu.
I can definitely see that moment though. Like she kind of just breaks down, and they have that moment where like seems like everything's absolutely falling apart and over. Then it's gonna come back, rejoice, like reunite, and then we're back to Chinatsu and Taiki, and then everything's be like normal again in some way or another. But now it's kind of like, where do we go from here? Nationals is over. That's been the whole build up since day one. You know what I mean? We have a whole season ahead of us. So I really wonder what's kind of gonna be like the objective per se of the rest of the season. Is it just gonna be focused purely on the romance side of it, or is there gonna be stuff to look forward to sports wise?
I hope there is more sports, like or it's still like a very good chunk of what Blue Box is because it does break up the monotony of just watching like a high school
Hmm.
romance. Honestly, I think if I had to guess, I think the relationship stuff will probably be the main crux of these next whatever 10 or so episodes, 11 episodes. Um, I don't want to say it's going to be Chinatsu versus Hina, but I think like them getting their feelings across and like trying to establish some sort of relationship with one another, I think will kind of be the direction we move in.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like it's been solid so far. The start of the second season, it's like, oh, gotta mention too, the opening is awesome. The opening's
So
sick.
good.
Yeah, dude.
And so is the closing song. I really like that too.
Yeah, and actually, I think that's like a common thread break with Winter 2025. I feel like all the openings of these animes have been sick. I've really been enjoying them. Like, oh, like I'm someone who always skips. You know what I mean? But now I'm like watching the first couple. I'm like, all right, like these are pretty good. I'm liking these.
After the Don Don song, I'm like, yo, I gotta stop skipping these intros, dude. But I'm the same way. Like
Yeah,
I'll skip or whatever. Like I don't know. I've never really liked the One Piece openings, so I'm
they're
like, oh
actually
yeah,
not
skip.
bad. I actually kind of
Some of
like
them are
them.
pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, some of them are good. But after Don Don, I'm like, we gotta slow down and jam out a little bit.
dude, I'm with it. Let's move on to solo leveling. Solo leveling season
Oh
two has
man.
been nothing. Okay, listen. Okay, so first of all, he recruited the bears. I never would have thought that was going to happen. I completely forgot that he can just summon people into his dead army. You know what I mean? When he summoned those, I was like, oh shit, yeah, he can do that. That's awesome. I wasn't expecting that at all. I completely forgot.
No, and I thought it was really cool how he ties that in. Like he basically takes the bear army, uses it against the ice elves, and then he tries to capture that guy at
Cool.
the end. And I think the only thing Jinwoo says is that he was not high enough of a level, but he was
Mm-hmm.
very frustrated. His 3 attempts didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like another kind of like plot line thing we can but Jinwoo's like that kind of gives him more room for growth and like we can kind of see his powers aren't as OP as they might seem from like these first 2 episodes, even though
Mm-hmm.
it's early, which I like.
Yeah, and like, let's not skip right over it. Like, okay, first of all, how do I put this? So, let's go back real quick because Jinwoo, again, in his natural form, decapitated somebody else. Why does he have the coolest decapitation scenes in all of anime? We have the first one where the one guy gets up close to him, like in the first season, starts talking shit, and all of a sudden the knife just comes out of nowhere. You think he slit his throat, but then the head just drops. You're like, oh fuck, right? That's where I think he gets like, no, I think he gets murder's intent from the one spy dude. But then in this episode, he like they're at the ice house, they have that face off, and he's like, "Oh, my buddy thinks that you're strong. He really wants to fight you." And out of nowhere, Jinwoo just decapitates him. He's like, "All right, next." Like, can you imagine? Everyone's been scared of these elves. They're like, "Oh yeah, he thinks that you're really strong, wants to fight you," and he's just like, "Yeah, you're fucking dog shit. Like, you're
Total
out."
fodder.
Yeah, exactly. And he just decapitates him. That was so sick. But then yeah, they finally face off, and this fight was awesome. They even said, like, is this what S rank or like high level hunters like battles look like? And they're like, no.
Yeah, everyone's like never seen this shit before.
I wonder, is this what the battles are gonna look like from now on?
I feel like yeah, because we kind of get a glimpse of the 2 S rank guys. Like
Mm-hmm.
they don't really connect. Like their fists don't hit, but you see that like pretty big like I don't know what you want to call it, their hockey or whatever we call it in solo leveling.
Yeah.
Like it pops off to like you can see the intensity of some of
Mm-hmm.
the S rank guys and obviously all the stuff Jinwoo's been doing. But I feel like for season 2, like the battles are gonna be kind of like up a tier or two, which is obviously sick.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. And like, let's like, I didn't know he can summon the bears to his army, right? After he kills them, I did not know he can do that with goddamn people. Bro killed that A
Yeah,
rank, which by the way was so satisfying. I fucking hated that guy.
thank you.
Just absolutely hate him. And then brought him into his army. Like, what? Can he just theoretically just kill a bunch of A ranks and have an army of A ranks?
I guess it depends because Hunter Kim, the guy he kills, which very satisfying. Guy is
Yeah.
tweaking the whole
Such
episode,
a piece of
looking
shit.
for someone to blame. And after Jinwoo literally like gives him the One Piece combo, and then he's like, "Oh, what hit me?" It has no idea. I'm gonna make another run at Jinwoo. Like, all right, guys got no brains at all. So like you're sitting there watching, like, yes, please make another run. You just missed the decapitation, but you got it, Hunter Kim, which I think was a really important moment. Like, yeah, obviously he kills him and then turns him into this like super badass familiar called Iron
Oh my god.
Stick.
So cool.
And it even mimics like his armor and his weapon when he
Hmm.
was a human, which I think is like really cool. Um, But like if you jump to the end of the episode, like his eyes are constantly like glowing blue, like that. I don't want to call it the murderer's intent, but this is the third person he's killed, and he's like looking at himself, and he's like kind of. I don't want to say he's regretting it, but he's like, all right, like I'm getting more comfortable with killing humans. Like it's a bit concerning. So I feel like that's going to be a bigger plot line down the road. Maybe at the end of the season, like he's got to kind of watch who he's killing and maybe like struggles with some of his humanity or whatever the system is like pushing him to be that way. Like I feel like that's going to be something he grapples with.
Yeah, and what's really cool is that first of all, now he's got this A rank under his control iron, which is fucking sick. But like,
Wasn't he a C rank?
no, he was an A rank. He was
That
the
dude's
highest
fucking.
rank. He was the leader of the party.
It's in a C rank dungeon, right?
Yes, yes. So there was a bunch of C ranks. There's B ranks, and then the one A rank. And that's why he was pissed that he had a bodyguard. He had to take care of E ranks. He's like, oh my god, I have to babysit these bitches. Nah.
Did the one girl, not his friend, who's the E rank, the other girl who she kind of like
She's a
gravitates to, is
B.
she a
Yeah.
she's a B rank?
Mm-hmm.
So even, excuse me, she makes a comment when the other girl's like, "Yo, is this how like most raids go? Like, is this what hunters do?" And she was like, "I've never seen this before. Like, do you think I would be a hunter if this is how it always is?" So she kind
Yeah.
of makes that quick comment. So it kind of shows you like even B ranks are like well beneath what Jinwoo's capable of right now.
I think even A ranks. I mean, the way he handled that A rank with no like difficulty at all. Like it was just absolute ease.
He's also like fighting the ice elf in front of him. And he's like, I gotta deal with this bum behind me real quick. Like,
And he's a tank. That's the thing. Like his whole thing was to frontline, take damage, and Jinwoo just threw him around like a rag doll. It was nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like it was just like pathetic. So I think,
even when he wasn't serious too, like he
yeah,
really didn't have to try at all. So
yeah.
you're right. Like Hunter Kim might be the most ass A rank hunter out there. Like he
Or
might be terrible.
Jinwoo's just at like an S rank like plus. You know what I mean? Like he's just like so far above.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like a big power scaler because I feel like a lot of anime fans do that. We all secretly do it. But like this episode really did kind of scale him as like at least an A rank, like probably even maybe between A and S. Like, I feel
Oh,
like we haven't seen the S ranks go at it.
the anime does it. So the anime will talk about like what rank he's now in and theoretically in. We haven't been able to like test his like powers
Yeah,
yet, but even he was like when he went like okay at the like near the end of season one, he was saying that he was then in A rank. That's probably where he's around because he was like taking on certain A ranks. He's like I could probably take on some A ranks, but then he has killed a lot of shit, leveled up a bunch, and now it's like okay, well it seems like you're an S rank because like you dealt him like it was nothing, but then also it might jump too far ahead because at the end when they jump out, first of all, those two S ranks kind of went at it and they had no problem. Like the one guy had no problem going after the other guy. It's like, let's do this, and then someone broke it up. But like when he grabbed Jinwoo and he's like, "Hey, I lost people. You're gonna fucking give me your statement and tell me what happened to my guildmates." He looked at him and he had like I think the blue eyes is just kind of like the aura, you know what I mean? Just kind of like you can
yeah.
just tell he's like getting serious, kind of turning it on, and he kind of was like, "You know what? You're right. I should be grateful." And like they shook hands and he left. He kind of like sensed his power and was kind of like, I don't want to fuck with this guy quite yet. Let's just kind of call it a night and keep an eye on him. Like I think
He
that.
said he wants to recruit him too, didn't he?
Mhm,
He's like, we have to at all costs get him in the White Tiger Guild, which I
mhm.
remember there's a brief, very brief scene, like they try to recruit him or something. But I think he says, I have this deal with the construction company, like
Oh
not
yeah.
interested right now. So like they did preface it, but it seems like yeah, now they're gonna commit. And also like I forget what he says. He's like, I saved the other two members and they came back with me, so you should be thanking me. You should be more grateful.
Yeah.
Jinwoo has the coldest like one-liners. This guy is just swagged out. I love his responses.
Bro, like he's such a beast, and like I don't know, like the fight scenes, the aura, the just the everything of this anime is delivering is just so good. It's awesome, and I can't wait for it to really kind of like speed up in season two because in the opening it does show like there's gonna be some badass fights coming up. I also do think he's gonna join that guild because that's the guild, right? That the girl is a part of, the blonde girl that everyone keeps freaking out about. That she's the quote unquote new waifu. So I think that there's gonna be something between Jinwoo and her, and that means he's probably at some point going to join that guild, and I imagine it'll be this season if anything. So I can't wait to see
Who?
more about that.
Yeah, honestly, once the other big players in S ranks get involved, I think it'll even blow up even more. I was looking for the construction kid. I don't want to call them buddies because he just calls Jinwoo boss. Like I don't know if they're really friends,
Yeah.
more of like a business transaction for Jinwoo, but
Hmm.
he comes back and is like fucking ridiculous armory. Like when they're sitting in the car, like just the misunderstanding between them, I thought
Oh,
was super funny.
so funny. Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, Jinwoo, are you like?" She's a minor, and he's like, yeah. What are you talking about? He was just like, nothing, nothing at all. Damn, boss. Like that show was so funny to me because it was so random and like
Hmm.
first two episodes were like fairly very serious.
Hmm. Like
I thought that was hysterical.
dude, like, ugh, dude, that kid is like, he's so funny because like he gets so like worked up around Jinwoo. You know what I mean? Because like he admires him so much and like wants just to be him. So like you
Yeah.
seeing like he has those misunderstandings. I feel like all the time with Jinwoo, where like he just doesn't get the actual like what's going on. You know what I mean? He just has some fantasy in his head of just like delusions. It's like, bro, you gotta like relax. He's a human being. Like stop thinking that there's some misinterpretation. Like they were training. You know what I mean? And I wonder if we're gonna see more of that if he's actually gonna train her more because we didn't see her fight at all. I want to see like how much of an E rank she actually is, and if she is going to get stronger. Because I imagined that after that he was gonna be like, "Nah, I'm not training you. Like we're done." But it seems like he's like, "All right, yeah, like I'm down. Like next time." You know what I mean? Like there is going to be a next time.
Yeah, and he hasn't brought it up yet. I wonder if he's kind of like in the same camp as some of the other people um like he's not actively trying to reawaken her. You know what I mean? But like is he seeing if that's a possibility? Like cuz we haven't seen her do any abilities. Like I don't think she's really done anything in the couple dungeons she's been on. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
and
As
they
a hunter,
keep making her like a focused character. Like there has to be something special about her.
I I'm not 100% confident in that, but I do think like the aspect of her reawakening will come into play or like be a plot line. Whether she will or won't, I don't know, but you're right. They focused her and made her like kind of a big part of the beginning of season 1, spending time with Jinwoo. Like there's got to be something there.
So it was the end of season one and the start of season two. So it's been across 2 seasons now that she's been highlighted.
True.
The construction kid hasn't even been. You know what I mean? We really haven't like talked about him really in season two. They just kind of showed him at the end of this episode to be like, hey, he's still here. Like he's still alive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting because like you're gonna get a lot more characters with these S ranks and maybe some of the guild players kind of coming into focus.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if she can like stick around or kind of keep her, pull her weight with these other like heavy hitters.
Yeah, we're 100% getting an S rank fight this season, like between two S ranks. That 100% has to happen. They keep going at it. They keep teasing it. It's going down. I think if Jinwoo, especially if he joins the guild this season, he's gonna fight somebody there. Like some beef is gonna start.
Or we'll see. I like they keep bringing up Jeju Island, which we still don't really know what happened there.
Hmm.
Like very little information. Maybe we'll get some S rank action there. I feel like they're gonna at least visit because they've made such a point about it, but we still don't really know anything. But yeah, we're gonna definitely get some S rank action.
What's it called? Jinwoo is 1,000% gonna kill the bald guy. He's gonna kill an S
Oh
rank.
hell yeah.
100. The way that he keeps going after him, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill this guy because like he was in that dungeon with my brother. My brother's dead. Like he's gotta something's gotta be up with it." And now this whole situation, like there's 100% gonna be that opportunity where like he comes after Jinwoo and Jinwoo just fucking destroys him, and everyone's like, "Oh, oh, okay, all right, Jinwoo's not E rank. All right, good to know."
S rank. Yeah, I'm looking
S
forward to
plus
that too.
plus.
Yeah, anytime he like gets these like crushes these guys with the big egos, it's so satisfying.
So good.
Yeah, that'll probably be our first interaction, you think, with the S ranks,
What, him killing the bald guy?
or at least like their first confrontation.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if he's going to join the guild first or have that altercation first, but we're definitely going to see a lot more with the S ranks this season. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I'm super excited, and I feel like before we kind of get into Sakamoto Days, like you and I kind of had the same opinion. Like I can see the hype with solo leveling. Like the first season didn't really deliver too many like crazy,
Hmm.
action-packed scenes or whatever. But early into season 2, we're starting to see that. I kind of feel like that's how the first season of Sakamoto Days is going to be up until we get into July. Like kind of establish the characters, like get into it, get into the story and build the world a little bit. But that's why you got to be patient. You know what I mean? Some of these manga readers know like how good this stuff gets. Um, so yeah, I'm just glad we're locked in and hype on season two.
Yeah, for me with solo leveling, I thought there was like some cool fight scenes in season one. For me, it was just the rapid progression. The pace was so quick, going from the literal worst to what at the end of the season he was considered A or a high B, rank. So
Yeah,
like that, in my opinion, was just way too quick, which kind of took away from kind of everything that was happening. And then of course, the recap.
yeah, 8.5. All right, we'll let it slide now that we're eating good.
You see a decimal point on an episode, you've run. You've run. You don't even bother. Like, oh,
Big red flag.
yeah, disrespectful. But like, yeah, the season one definitely had its problems, but it didn't scream like it was good, but it wasn't great like everyone said it was. Season two is hitting that great mark like immediately, and it seems like it's gonna be paced really well. It seems like the fight scenes are gonna be phenomenal. The growth is gonna be awesome. The plot is gonna be like, because now we're getting into it. We have this. We have the world set. You know what I mean? So now we're just diving deeper into that. So like, yeah, I'm stoked for season two. I'm on board. Let's see where it's gonna go. But Sakamoto Days, that's another anime with a great start, dude. Like the intro, like the opening to it was just awesome. You see the gun, it looks so detailed and nice, and it's just him young, bro. Sakamoto when he was in shape, my man was a monster. Like even out of shape, I
Yeah,
mean he's still fucking shit up. But like, dude, he looked scary. I was like, yo, like I wish we can get like I don't know, we gonna see more of that about him? Like I don't know, like that was really cool, great opening, kind of get into everything and like I don't know, I love it. I love the fact that like he's just chilling. You know what I mean? Like he gained a bunch of weight and he's just at this convenience store, but he can still like kill people. Like he's still like so goddamn strong. I love like his wife and kid. I love that whole dynamic where like he has this family and they're like so chill. They're like, oh hi, welcome back. And the one guy's like just like yeah, playtime's over and he puts a suppressor on the pistol. It's like bro, like, what the fuck? Like what is this anime? But like it's so good. The action's there. It just seems so like I don't know. It just seems like it's gonna be awesome. The clairvoyant guy, I love him too. I love that he can like read minds.
dude, Shin is definitely my favorite
Mm-hmm.
character. They used to like work together and like he's kind of yeah he gets caught up in that situation with the people he works for now, but
Mm-hmm.
um I think they do a really good job of making Sakamoto this like legendary, yeah, obviously like the greatest hitman. He's badass. He's like super cool looking. And nowadays he's just like super out of shape and like unassuming. Kind of think like, is that the same Sakamoto? And then Shin goes to smoke the cigarette, like he goes to light it and it just gets cut in half.
Oh
And
my yeah,
as it's on, he sees like the old Sakamoto. He's like, yeah, he's still that guy.
bro.
And
That
that's like kind of a big part of like the aesthetic in season one. Like everyone underestimates him at first.
that was so funny about Shin too when they first met, because then he saw that the guy was gonna take the pen and stab him in the neck with it. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, that would have been nasty. And then he sees that he's thinking about killing him. He's like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's like,
It's like stop killing people in your mind.
and then he says something else, and then he reacts with like thinking of killing him again. He's like, "Why is everything you think of is killing me? Like relax. Like I don't. I come in peace. Like chill, bro. Like bro, that's so funny. I love Shin. Dude, he is like that. Like him reading minds just makes it like I don't know. It adds like a nice twist to it because like with Spy Family, I guess we kind of related it to. Like Anya can't tell anybody about it. I love that we have somebody who can just be open with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like a huge plot point in the
Mm-hmm.
story. Like I've read a little bit of manga, but like kind of like the more current stuff. So like, I didn't spoil like what happens in season one and two. Really,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have an idea. But Shin kind of comes off as like a maybe a little goofy or like weak, but he's like a super cool character, and I love his psychic powers. Like once they start like really getting into the fights and stuff, he does grow, and he ends up being honestly my favorite character. But just to see like kind of like how important it is. You're right. Like Anya can't really tell people about it, but that's like why Shin is kind of the man in this like hitman world. Like I think it's really cool and adds like a different dynamic to it because Sakamoto doesn't talk much, so he's kind of like
He talks
his
though, which is
dialogue.
sick.
Yeah, he did get some voice lines and
Mm-hmm.
got a badass deep voice. I'm like, all right, there's my guy.
Yeah. Like okay. It's also really cool how they show the assassin side of like not being as glamorous as you'd think. He's seeing him like just slurp down this ramen, and he's like, what happened to you like eating rations? You know what I mean? Like, well, like you got so out of shape, and then he goes and he eats Sakamoto's wife's cooking, and he's like, oh my god, this is fucking incredible. But usually he eats like very like bland, just enough kind of stuff. And she's like, oh, it's just like when you first ate my food, my cooking. You know what I mean? And you can kind of see how deprived these guys are, of, like flavor, like actual like eating. You can see how Sakamoto got the way he was, where like he's just stuff in his face. He's just cares just about his family. You know what I mean? Like he has this wife and child, and they mean the world to him. They make him so happy, and he's like, "Yo, fuck this assassin shit." Like that, like blows when you think about it. He's like, "This is where it's at. Just chilling at a convenience store, running it. I got my family, eating a fuck ton of tasty food. Like this is it." So the fact that they showed kind of like the not so glamorous, romanticized side of being an assassin and a spy was also really cool.
I totally agree with you. This scene, I feel like we can all relate. As a man, we've all been stunned before. The scene where he walks up at the convenience store and he just hits that like fucking um who does that in One Piece? Like Enel. He has like the shocked face when he's at the counter. His like eyes are popping out and shit.
Wait for
You
what?
remember that?
Wait, what happened?
When Sakamoto like first runs into the woman who's eventually his wife. He's like going to buy that stuff at the convenience store.
Oh,
Oh,
and like his glasses cracked, and he's like, "Oh my god!"
yeah,
And like he instantly fell in
beautiful
love.
woman. Like
Yeah.
he'd be like the coldest hitman out there, and pretty girl do it to you. So based.
Dude, I love because they also show that like right after he like killed like a warehouse full of people, like he just like
Yeah.
absolutely crushed people. Like, oh my god, he's so badass, and he just goes to this convenience store, and it was just over for him. Like that was it. Like she's the
So good,
kryptonite.
honestly. Yeah, and like just that like that parallel. Like you were right, like Shin tries the food and you can kind of see like, yeah, I get why he left this like horrible underworld to like have a family. He's got people, at home. I think that's a cool juxtaposition. I like it, not to compare them. I like it more than Spy Family because it's a little bit like more down to earth, both at home and like in this hitman field.
Yeah. I can totally see that, and it's like cool that like Sakamoto's like still got it. You know what I mean? Like when he knocks Shin out, first of all, the fight scene between them was sick in the convenience store. Like he's just like shooting like candy at him. With a gun versus candy, and Sakamoto's going toe to toe. But like puts
Yeah.
the listening device in, and then he goes to the warehouse to save him. But I love how like when he puts like the code in the register, and then like the walls turn. You have this whole arsenal. It's like, oh, bro still got it. Bro still locked loaded. He's ready. He's ready to defend the home.
And the just the detail and like the arsenal was really cool.
Hmm.
I hope we get to see some more of that stuff as like more baddies are gonna show up and like he'll run into more fights and stuff. So I'm sure we'll get a lot more cool scenes with it. But I've seen like people like being kind of hard on it. I think this season might take a little while to ramp up in some of these like intense fights, but I feel like most big animes are like that. Like there's a lot of source material, so it pays to like be a little slower pace, build the world, show some love to these new characters we're just meeting. Um, Kind of think it'll be like Solo Leveling. In July, the beginning of that second season will probably go crazy.
I mean, wait, we're getting season two that early in July.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
yo, let's go. So first of all, I was excited about season episode one. I thought episode one was good and like didn't feel slow. I like how it's just that introduction to Shin and it was just perfect. I like it when he like threw him the apron and stuff, and it's just awesome. It's cool how his daughter's already like attached with Shin. He's just like, oh, like that's Shin. Like always know what people are looking for, and like like they've like become friends and stuff. And it's like what's it called? The only thing I was a little worried about was is he never gonna speak? But then he starts speaking at the end, and I'm like, oh, like this is gonna be awesome. It's not like he's gonna be like mute the whole time. Like it's like I don't know. I felt like the episode one was a great start. Bringing Shin in and explaining that was really cool. You had some fight scenes, and then you had some background on him. So like, of course it could slow down, but like if they keep at the pace they're at, I'm like, it's gonna be a good season one. And if we're getting season two that quick, I mean, it's gonna be nice regardless.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited for it. Um, it's tough to tell in the manga from like what I've read. But I feel like yeah, his dialogue is very little, but like we hear from Shin's like ESP, like what he's thinking, like he talks
Mm-hmm.
like an internal monologue, but he does have like very little dialogue.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool that way Shin and like we hear him through Shin. I think that's kind of cool as like a viewer.
Yeah, that is true. So this is kind of like a stupid debate, right? But you're saying we're getting two seasons, right? When you're looking at anime awards, how fair is it for an anime to have like a double season or an extended season when it comes to then nominating them for an award? Because you have way more material, so it's way easier to be into that anime or that anime to have a larger impact. You know what I mean? If we're looking at all the animes that are going to drop in 2025, Solo Leveling season 2, we're having this one. Apparently, a lot of the other manhwa, like big three or like huge manhwas, are getting animated and premiering for the first time. They are going to have a massive impact. We have Dan to Dan coming back. Like, how fair is it going to be for Sakamoto when it comes to, you know, being judged of having 2 seasons compared to everyone else only having 1 season that year?
I would say like it doesn't bother me because I think a lot of that is like preparation and planning. Um, I think also a lot of that is judged off like the popularity of the manga.
Mm-hmm.
Like in recent years, only the biggest animes like Jujutsu Kaisen had 24 episodes. Dandadan. I
Well,
mean, even though it's
Dandadan
broke,
technically got, yeah, Dandadan technically has 12.
yeah, like so they're kind of broken up. But then you look at something like Wistoria, which was outstanding, or
Mm-hmm.
Kaiju, super popular, super great. Wistoria has a ton of source material, but like only came out with 12 episodes because it's a little more risky. It's maybe not as popular as like the Kaiju mangas at the
Yeah.
time. Um, so I don't know. I don't think it bothers me, but I also think it's cool as like a viewer to get
Well,
to 24 episodes and
not
like
that
the
it
time they spent before to like prep for that.
well, not that it would bother you. Obviously, we can get 24 episodes for a standard season. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? What's with
Hell
this
yeah.
12 shit? But I mean, like, do you think that would have an impact when it comes to giving these animes awards because you have way more material that season compared to everyone else? You know what I mean? That's what I mean.
It's tough. Like I don't really know kind of how they go about it. Like, do they just go off like viewership and like stuff like that? I feel like they're already
Mm-hmm.
kind of a leg up because Sakamoto Days and uh, things like Kaiju have like already such a large audience from the manga. Like,
Yeah.
it is maybe a little unfair, but at the same time, like they probably would be big and popular either way. So I feel like they kind of do have that advantage over something like Wistoria or Windbreaker, which came out with a really strong premiere despite not, you know, having 24 episodes or whatever.
I mean, I feel like regardless, the anime awards really come down to which one has a bigger fan base manga wise. I mean, I feel like no one actually looks at the season that came out that year and actually do it. That's why I was just like, oh, like, what would you think? Like, would it have an impact? But like, I mean, in all reality, it's just a popularity contest, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like that's what that stuff is a lot of times. Like, and there's so many heavy hitters. Like, and by the end of like each award season, it's just
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man, this was amazing. This was amazing. This is like super popular. It's hard to say like, maybe that should have been there, regardless of the episodes.
Yeah. But anyways, is there anything else you want to add? I mean, so far a phenomenal, phenomenal start to winter of 2025.
Yeah, dude, we're rocking, man. I'm super excited. I think it's going to be an awesome winter. A little bummed about Fate, but as Fate fans, we're kind of used to getting
Disappointed.
shafted around on the schedules. Like I never played the games, but after diving through the Reddit to like try and find that second episode, it's kind of it's not the first time the fans have been left in the dark, but it should be this year. So either way, we're still excited for it, and I think it'll be badass.
And hey, who knows? Maybe that means they're gonna put more time into the animation. You know what I mean? They're gonna just do more with it. So it was off to a great start. The episode one was sick. The movie was sick. You should check it out if you
Yeah,
haven't seen it. But I mean, hey, what a start to winter season! I'm so excited. Hope you guys are too. Let us know down in the comments below which anime has been your favorite or which one you think is off to the best start. But anyways, that is it. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week and